Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a December 2020 brief overview, and then most of this is going to be looking forward towards 2021, like a year preview. This is a 13-seat clock calendar, and this is for Leo. So this is if you're Sun, Moon, rising, or Venus is in Leo, if you're feeling the effects of different planets moving in Leo. For example, Sagittarius moves out of the Sun moves out of Sagittarius on the 21st of December and then moves into Capricorn. Now, because the Sun determines what sign we're in, it's a little bit, seems slightly different than a regular planet moving through the constellations. But I mean, I guess it's no different than other planets. It's just more regular. But anyway, if you feel the effects of the shift from Leo, from Sagittarius to Capricorn, then this is also for you. Now the moon is going to be in Leo on the 5th to 6th of December, which is when I'm recording this because I'm a little bit behind. And I think that's the only other thing that's really going on with Leo and the Sun right now. So also in January 2021, when the Sun, well, the Sun's still going to be in Capricorn, so never mind. Okay. I do want to point out, though, that the energy and the shift from the 21st, from Sagittarius to Capricorn with the Sun, you think about Leo. Leo is the fire sign that sort of sits in one place and radiates, right? We're staying in one spot and we're radiating out in an equal amount in all directions. But if you think about Leo and Sagittarius, it's like I'm sending all of my energy out in this direction. I'm going this way, like an arrow. Like, see if I can dig the arrow out of here with my charms bucket. This will make more sense if I'm not holding something that isn't an arrow. Oh, here it is. I didn't even have to look for it that hard. Okay. Alright, so instead of Leo making all their energy go out in the same direction, like radiation, when the Sun is in Sagittarius, that fire energy is saying, I'm going to take all of my fire energy and I'm going to send it in one direction. It's all going over here. I'm going to spew it out like a big coronal mass ejection, like a fireball. And I think for Leo, it can be kind of like, because they're radiating, it's like, oh wait, no, just kidding. Now I have to send all my energy in that direction. And they're trying to send like all their energy into like 5 different projects because they're trying to fling it outwards instead of just radiating from a stable core. It can create this sort of overwhelmed sensation. But when Sun moves into Capricorn, that's going to give some grounding and a little bit of perhaps task management for Leo. Now, additionally, when I was digging out the cards for this reading, the 3 decks popped out right away that I was going to use. So I've got my music deck that I made for myself, I've got the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I've got the Thoth deck. But I also saw this card. This is from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and it's the Spider card. So I skimmed it in the book just to give myself a little refresher. And this is about the Dharma, the life's work. It's about sort of pacing yourself to work on your life's purpose and being in the moment. You know, you don't want to rush making the whole web just to finish your design and say, here, it's done. And there's this idea of the act of creating itself as being part of the energy that's being radiated outwards. There's this idea that your life's purpose is served in being present with what you're doing, instead of just trying to get it done to move on to the next thing. It's about being patient, not jumping the shark, about having quality over quantity, basically. It does talk about life as a tapestry. Now, this card came up particularly last year when I did my Freddie Mercury channeling. And until a couple months ago, it was an anonymous guest entity reading. And then I had the intuition that it needed to be unmasked. So if you go to my channeling entities, click on the one that's Freddie Mercury, because it talks at length about this card and the idea of the tapestry. So it'll give a little bit more in-depth. Incidentally, this picture here is a lot like Leo sitting in the center of the sun there, and then the web is radiating outwards, right? I mean, the spider is just sort of in one spot in the web. It can never be over here and over here at the same time. And most of its energy is just contained within itself. When there's something happening out here, it feels the vibrations coming in on its own rays, basically, and its own silks. All right, so let's look at the rest of December here. So 9 of Cups inverted, and here it says happiness. Now this came up in Cancer's reading, and the energy that I got with this was, when I did Cancer's reading earlier today, was that it's not unhappiness, it's like I'm afraid to get the things and to achieve the things that make me happy. Right? It's like being so involved in the struggle and so used to the struggle that any kind of contentment could lead to an immediate depressive phase, because you don't know what to do with yourself. There is no ability to be in the moment and enjoy it. And now we have the 9 of Cups again. We're doubling down on this energy. Look at this moonlight coming down. So 9 of Cups energy is Jupiter in Pisces. So there's that Sagittarian energy I was talking about being spread too thin and trying to go put all of your energy in more than one direction. And Pisces controls the subconscious. And here we see that not only do we have a 9 of Cups inverted, bringing that Piscean energy to the nightmare phase, which is normally Mars in Gemini, right? So we have 2 people, the twins, and we have 2 fishies, and then we have fire signs. But here it's sort of like I am on this sort of roller coaster nightmare that's gotten away from me. There's some kind of secret I'm harboring deep in my subconscious that's preventing me from waking up to what's going on in my internal world. That's sort of a trigger that says you're not allowed to have happiness. You're only allowed to struggle for it. And then inverted, we have the King of Pentacles, with Money by Pink Floyd. So here, there's this idea of trying to get out of Sagittarian energy and move into Capricornian energy, which I already mentioned. This is, I'm out of balance, but there's a pivot here because the 14 breaks down to 5, right? I'm working so hard, and all I ever seem to do is work, and I never seem to earn any money. My physical world isn't very stable. Everything's kind of shaky. It might not even have to do with money. It might have to do with I'm earning enough money, but I'm unhappy because I'm sick all the time and I can't just sit and enjoy myself. It could be any anything. It's like I'm not manifesting what I dream about because it's so far deep in my subconscious. And I feel like this is a very similar concept to what was happening with Cancer, which makes sense because the sun and the moon were interacting a lot, and then we have the sun here as well. So I think what's going on with Leo is that there's this idea that you're like a starship that's being ripped apart by the vacuum of space, and what you need to do is to sit in your own power and let your power be balanced. Now look at this, the scarab beetle's holding a sun disk. This is a metaphor for the brain, but he's radiating outwards again. Alright, so let's look at what's going on as an overall for 2021. Let's get some charms here. I need to shake these up some more. Oh, that one popped right off the edge there. Oh, maybe that's the microphone this time. Oh, I forgot to put the month things down, too. Okay. Oh, okay. I heard one more, and then it's like, no, another one. Whoa, dude, come on. Okay. Now I actually have to pick one out. Final answer. Pig in reverse. Alright. Okay, so I gotta put these month markers down. So a lot of stuff going on in June over there. I forgot to put the tags on the months. Alright. So there's a lot going on for the year. I got about as many charms for Cancer, and it was a 2-hour reading, so I don't know what we're in for here. 7 minutes, okay. Alright, let me arrange all of... I clustered them into groups for the last one, but let me arrange these all into upright and backwards. So try and get some paragraphs here for this chapter. So there's all kinds of shit going on in 2021. Okay, I see the donut again, and the T, and the owl. So I had a feeling it means something different. Okay, so here we are talking about the shift into Capricorn and what's happening right around there. Crid myth. So we have these holly berries here. So we have a timing. What else is timing? Okay. Okay, so I have a couple of different kinds of spirits here. Holiday spirit. Okay. Oh, this mouse isn't supposed to be over here. Okay. So we have the battery, which is what I was talking about with Capricorn having a hard time. Okay, I guess the kangaroo's going there. Okay, so we've got kissing under the mistletoe. And we've got a turtle. And a tower. A kawaii face goes with that. And a chewbacca. Okay, I see what's going on over here. It's like, what language is this? They're writing in no, because the T goes here too. Whatever language writes in columns. Oh, okay, okay, hold on. This is turning into a grid. This goes over here. Okay, so Get like a 4. Shouldn't be a kangaroo down here though. Unless there's an argument. Okay, I think I'm starting to get this. Oh, I didn't see the trash can over here. Okay. So it has to go somewhere too. Okay, so this is another beverage thing. Animals. Okay, animals over here. Okay, so I'll put the 2 cups up here. Trying to get these in the right place. It's there's a lot here and it has to be in the right order. It's like setting up a Lenormand grid. Hand. Okay, so we got all these. This is paper. Gradually less realistic animals. Anything else that's like a sound though? These don't go over here anywhere. Food. Okay, so this goes up here. Got a couple of doubles. I guess the donut and the tea go together again. Okay, this one. Okay, hugs and kisses. Okay, so what's going on? This doesn't go over here. Okay, the paper can and the trash can. Okay. Alright, so I guess these do go together. Alright. Sorry if that's boring, but I've got to figure out what these... I'll try to hold those up. I gotta move this over a little bit. I gotta set up the next chapter here. This is a long ass fucking charm chunk here. I'm gonna put the Leo here so that I know where the upside down ones and the not upside down ones start and begin. I'm gonna start another. Okay. Alright, so upright I have the hand with the ring on it. I have the double champagne glasses. I have holly berries. I have a heart and then a kiss mouth. Or just a mouth in general. It looks like it may or may not be trying to kiss. I have the kawaii face. In the next column I have a liquor bottle. Could be Crown Royale. It could be something else. This is not actually a drink. This is a message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Alright, so here's the chalice. This is like the Ace of Cups. Here is the tea. And here is the donut that's going with it. This is the... it's also a toroidal field. It's not just a donut. So I didn't hold these up. This is the hand with the ring on it. And here is the champagne glasses. And I didn't hold up the heart, so here's the heart. This is like another Ace of Cups type of a thing. So I'm actually going to put this in the cup. Even though it's sort of like hugs and kisses. So it's in the cup. And then I have the battery. I have the balloon. Looks like a kangaroo's about to pop it too. I have the 16-ton weight, which is kind of like the tower, sort of under the balloon as if the balloon was attached to it. And right with that, I have the F-bomb. If I can get it, there's the F-bomb. It's getting dropped. Okay. So the turtle, I have the sea turtle here. And with it I stuck the headphones, so we have the right and left differentiation. And the way I'm getting it is sort of like the headphones are thrown out and the sea turtle's getting caught in it. You know how they get like caught in plastic bags. So then I have the kangaroo sort of ready to fight. And with it I have this sword, which is one of my Ace of Swords charms. And then I have the owl. And underneath I have a paper crane. And I also have a waste paper basket, a trash can, a garbage bin, a rubbish bin. Rubbish! Alright, so all these charms inverted. Let me figure out what's going on with these. Let's have some kind of a barrier. This is washable marker. I'll just take it off the table later. Okay. So I have halo. This is going to take a minute. I got the llama again that came out with the other reading. Animals on the end. I got the wolf, but it might be a coyote if it's pretending. Okay, so I have a 16 tons, which is a tower, and then I also have an actual tower. So I've got a couple of half and half creatures here. I've got a mermaid, and I've got this fairy. And last time I get the fairy, it came out with a tulip, so I'm going to give it the tulip as a wand again. And I guess I'll have to hold these up too. There it is. And the mermaid. I don't know if I have an angel. Alright, so here's this pig. And I feel like that goes with the sea turtle. And the llama goes where that guy goes. Coyote where the owl goes. Oh, this is actually down in the third spot with coyote. That makes sense. And now I have the microphone, so this kind of goes where the pig is. And what else have I got here? Shorts. And the mouse can go down here with the paper crane because he's going to eat the trash in the can. And then I have the inner child. No battery. And okay, so instead of the balloon I have a UFO, and then the F-bomb I have... What planet have I got here? Jupiter. Okay. So the halo. Shorts. So who's wearing the shorts? Who's got the halo? Okay. So I feel like there's a charm that should have come out that's missing. So I need to get another one. Okay. So I have a mountain lion, and then in reverse I have the moon. Okay, so the mountain lion is getting the halo and the pants. And the moon is upright, so that goes right on the border. So I should have 4 columns, which means I'm going to have to spread these out more. Okay, so this goes down here. Okay. And okay, so this goes where the ring goes. microphone is supposed to be... Actually, these go here. I want them on the bottom. This isn't right either. This goes up here. Microphone. Where do the glasses go? Okay. Alright. I've got this set up now. There's a lot of charms here. That just took me like 10 minutes just to set those up. Okay. So let me try to read these giant clusterfuck of charms. These ones are all reverse. These ones are all upright. So I see there's this idea of the holidays, like between Christmas and New Year, right? Ringing in the New Year, we've got alcohol, we've got a lot of sort of warm and loving feedback. This could be eggnog, it doesn't have to be tea. And I had said in Cancer's reading that the way that the planets were moving, with the sun and the moon in particular, that there's going to be this sort of romantic air right at the winter solstice and as we move from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So I see that in here as well. And it's also talking about the new year, the bridge between January and February, and we're talking about the full moon, but we have a moon that's not full here. So we're looking at the full moon on December 14th, and there's something going on there too. Now I do see a tower moment here, right? This is like something just sort of floats in and then drops all of a sudden like a plane in the like a drone in midair that ran out of battery and just dropped whatever the universe wanted to on you. There's this idea of I'm only hearing one side of things, and I'm sort of fighting to gain hold of some kind of emotional truth. There's something that's going to be learned from it. It's also sort of like your guides are the ones bringing this message in, but they're trying to send it in as gently as possible, but a 16-ton weight is still a 16-ton weight, right? There's this idea that there's a message in a bottle, and the message has been taking so long to get here that they're trying to have like more absurd and more grandiose methods of dropping it, right? The note written on the whiteboard didn't work. The message tied to an arrow and shot through the trees didn't work. The message in a bottle didn't work. The email didn't work. So now they've got the 16-ton weight sent on a balloon on a drone, and it's really a message delivered without tact at this point. And there's also this idea that there's this paper crane in here, right? This is another thing that's trying to fly in and deliver a message, right? We sent the message in on a paper airplane. It doesn't really matter that this is a crane. There's this idea of I've tried over and over again the same way every time to get the message, and it never works. And you know what? I'm going to ball up this son of a bitch, and I'm going to throw this paper thing in the trash. And again with the 16-ton weight. But what's also interesting over here is that in this holiday celebrations, there's this idea that there's this feedback loop forming where like love is in the air kind of thing. Like I'm feeling warm and fuzzy and contented and sweet, and I want to be hugging and kissing under the mistletoe, and we're gonna ring in the new year together. And now ring it in might be metaphorical, right? And this 16-ton weight might be the ball dropping, but it's sort of like there could be this idea of like, well, the other foot's dropping, but like, why is the goddamn ball so heavy? But it could also end up being commitment, like a committed relationship as well. So why all that is in there is kind of curious. It's sort of like there's two different tracks happening at once. It's like Leo getting their ass kicked for running their battery so low in Sagittarius energy, and then everything sort of collapsing in on itself in this wisdom and then being like, nap's over, it's time to go deal with a love relationship. Don't get too drunk, it's going to be fine. You know, you've been struggling and fighting for so long for this, like, upside, with your world upside down to get to this truth. Like, you don't want it to pass you. And I see this moon here, but I also see it as we're in like a mid phase of the moon, which is when we head into January. Well, that's not what I meant to say. I feel like this is coming in, there's a full moon on December 30th. So when we hit the new year, we'll still be feeling the effects of that. And then on January 14th, when Aquarius goes direct in Taurus, the moon is going to be in Aquarius, and that's this right here. It's probably pretty close to the new moon. I haven't looked at it for January, but it's, you know, it's a smaller moon phase when that happens, and this idea that there's a huge shift in consciousness and this sort of you know, we're turning at a hard 90-degree angle here, like hold on to your butts, put on your seatbelts kind of a thing. And you can see sort of everything on this divide is something that's sort of, I'm hearing, predicated on what's happening in December. Like, these are all possible timelines that aren't really happening yet. And again, there's this idea that there's like another tower moment waiting to happen. And this Jupiter thing coming in inverted is telling me that there's a cycle that's being completed, but also that we're moving out of the Sagittarius energy. You know, and I get this microphone over here. It's sort of like something that's going back to this sort of like speech, like a New Year's speech. And there's this idea that I'm trying to ascend to this higher plane of existence, because I have animals that are between land and sea, animals that are between land and air, high mountain animals, animals that dig deep in the dirt for truffles, which is a psychedelic experience, a consciousness expansion. We have this sort of seat of the pants energy, and then this UFO here, and it's sort of like the messages are coming in faster. Are you going to be able to pick them up on your equipment? You know, there's a crown chakra activation because the cosmic consciousness is shifting. It's sort of like, with this in reverse, it's the very opposite of do not pass go, do not collect $200. It's like, get out the way, bitch, we're going. You know, we're climbing that mountain. I'm going to be tunneling through the baseboards to get where I need to go. Now this was in reverse too. This is an inner child kind of thing usually, but with it inverted, it's sort of not the inner child, and I feel like there's this idea that if people are going to be in a relationship, they're going to have to open up to this new energy with a sense of playfulness, in order to sort of handle any trickiness that comes up emotionally. I feel like the mountain lion and the llama are doing the same thing. They're both sort of ascending. We have a rainbow with clouds as well, so there's this idea that the sunlight for Leo is breaking through the clouds, and Leo is starting to hold on to their own energy and be able to radiate it and sort of transform, essentially sort of calling all their pieces back to each other, right? I'm not just land and sea, I'm not just air, I am all those things, but I need to pull myself back together, all these disjointed parts, and become this sort of hybrid being that I'm supposed to be. Now I have this wolf here, but right now I'm still seeing it as coyote, but it could be this idea of like wolf moon, and I don't know when the last one was, but there's also this idea that, you know, you've been through a lot of shit, and with it inverted, it's like there isn't going to be a lot of really confusing, messed up stuff where it feels like there's somebody in the corner laughing at you because you got fooled. And well, this is sort of like the Who. You get the Who won't get fooled again. Right? So there's a lot of, it's like a switchboard that's firing all at once. Some of the buttons are going on and off continuously, right? Like all the little lights on the edge of the UFO. But there's this idea that there's going to be like we're no longer going to be moving in the same direction. We have a rapid turnaround. There's going to be a dramatic energy shift in 2021 that Leo has kind of a... I mean, Leo kind of has the teacher's book to it somehow because of all this information. It's just a matter of trying to know which chapter to start on. All right, so I'm gonna get some water and get another segment and get going on what's happening in January. It took a second while the camera was off to wipe the mark off the table, or at least most of it. Okay, so we're looking at January finally after this massive overview. So we have the King of Wands, Edgar Winter, Frankenstein, which is interesting because Winter, and I was talking about bringing the different parts of you back together. And what is Frankenstein? Right? I'm going to MacGyver this guy back into one piece. And then we have the masculine and the feminine 11. So we have the sun and the moon together here. Also known as the Page of Fire, the Page of Wands. So again, I said the professor's manual, and we have start out with a page, which quickly goes up to the king level. And then we have the Knight of Swords, but in this deck, the knights are kings, and in this deck, the kings are called knights, and the knights are called princes. So this is the King of Swords, and he's out and about in his helicopter. Right? This kangaroo is in his UFO. So we have a pair of kings, both of the masculine kings, and then we have a balance between the masculine and feminine energy. So the Page of Wands, I have assigned Uranus energy, right? So we're coming out of the Uranus retrograde. The King of Wands energy is Cancer and Leo. So there's that masculine and feminine energy. Again, the sun and the moon directly. And then this one is Capricorn and Aquarius. So we're saying we're still in Capricorn, but the thing that's in Aquarius is going direct, and we're going to be in Aquarius pretty soon. All right, so we're coming out of this full moon energy, and we're balancing the masculine and feminine energy, but we're doing it, we're thinking about things in a practical way, which is probably why there's all that love going on. The King of Wands is the marriage kind of guy. He's passionate, but he's also very practical about it. He's on the move. He's got a plan. He's ready to go, and get out there and get that plan in motion. He seconds that emotion. Down on the card. I have fingernails. They just don't usually work. So we have February. Oh, I sounded surprised. Death and Rebirth. 8. With the Six of Pentacles inverted. So the song for this is The Right Garden by Jane Oliver. I'm intrigued that it came out inverted. I also have 6 and 8 here, which makes 14 again. And then I have 8 again. Prudence. The 8 of Pentacles. Dear Prudence, when you come out to play, Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is out, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Now notice that this totals 16, which is a tower. That would be the death, right? There's something that's breaking down and recombining. And I think I mentioned this in Cancer in a tower. It's like the tower is, it's sort of like in a Clive Barker book. They have the, at least one book where they have these sort of like mite things, and they sort of work their way into the person's body and then just sort of eats away at them until they sort of dissolve. And that's sort of the breaking down of the tower. But then the recombining it would be for it to sort of be like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, right? They've broken down into some, I heard superfluous, but I don't know if that's the right word, so I gotta look it up real quick. I mean, it probably is, because it would be superfluous. I mean, it would be moving. Well, let's just check in the old dictionary here. Superfluous. It's like words that you know, or celebrities' names that all of a sudden sound really weird. My eyeballs are hot. I'm almost there. Oh man, my dinner is not sitting well on my stomach. Superfluidity. Superfluous. Being more than is needed, useful, or wanted, surplus, excessive. Not needed, unnecessary, irrelevant, extravagant, or prodigal. But it also says it's from superfluere, to overflow. Super plus fluctuate. Okay. So there's, I don't remember what I was saying about that, but there's this idea that there's an energy reserve of some sort. But anyway, breaking down and being formed into something new. Unzipping the DNA, rezipping it to something else. And it doesn't have to be necessarily making a baby, although if you're getting together in December and you're still together on Valentine's Day, maybe. We also have this tempered by there's something wrong with the soil. But if I take the 6 pentacles away from this 2, it's like I need to decide which project I'm going to put effort into. What thing am I going to nurture, right? So what things am I letting die off, the tower, and what things am I going to be putting my energy into? And here we have the sun in Virgo. Right, the Virgo is that youthful maiden energy. I'm unfurling my leaves. So this is essentially 8 and 6 breaking down to 14, which breaks down to 5, which is a shift, plus 8 is 13, death again. So in February, there's this idea of I need to figure out what is worth my time and what is going to take too much of my time and effort to be worth pursuing at this point. It might be a relationship, but it could also be I'm giving up on leisure activity because I'm going to have a baby. So it's one or both or all of those things, depending on your situation. 6 of Pentacles, is that a sun as well? 6 of Pentacles is the moon in Taurus, but it's inverted, so there's sun energy there as well. Sun in Taurus. The moon in Taurus. And the moon is going to be in Taurus when this flips in January, so it's kind of an echo of Uranus going direct. There's consciousness that's still shifting, but it's down to this sort of day-to-day stuff of, like, what am I doing with my time? So we have March. So now we have the Page of Wands inverted. So the same energy now inverted, but this is, the song for this is Such a Night by Elvis. It's kind of like a what, in this deck particularly, it's the one night stand kind of a card. Next, inverted, next to 13, Union. So again, it's this idea that there's some kind of love relationship and we're not just screwing around with each other for a little while, we're pulling together. This death and rebirth is coming in terms of what are we turning our relationship into. And there's the Tower. So whatever is going on in February culminates in March with the Mars energy, Aries. Right? It's like anything that is not going to go into new growth is going to be burnt so we can spread it out for fertilizer or something like that. But also this idea of we're not just gonna have a quick flame, like it's not gonna be a quick flame out, it's gonna be a sustained burn. So we could have a twin flame situation here where it's sort of like we've decided that we're not going to like we're not going to deal with any old habits or misconceptions or any immature ideas about dealing with another person. So in order to form a more perfect union. Ugh. So let's go with April. Start April showers, bring May flowers. So now we have the Knight of Cups. Can you feel it with the Jacksons? So the song in the video is sort of about people coming together and creating this sort of new energy. So this Knight of Cups here is sort of bringing forth this energy that the paradigm shift with Aquarius going direct in Taurus is causing this, it's the cosmic consciousness is shifting into something where we're taking this fire energy that was coming down and we're saying, oh, like I can play with my own core energy with my confidence, and I can feel the fire moving up into my heart center. Now the Knight of Cups is Aquarius in Pisces. So there's that shift as well as this idea of the subconscious where the feeling and psychic abilities lay. So the subconscious and the collective consciousness coming together where the fire meets the heart chakra. And I'm not talking about heartburn either. And then we have 9, which is knowledge. This is kind of like a young version of the Hermit. It's like Hermione Granger out here studying with books and making potions and shit. Alright, so this Knight of Cups has come into the knowledge. It's a little bit like a Page of Pentacles as well. In the Page of Pentacles, I have assigned Pluto energy, which is sort of watery and fiery at the same time, which makes sense. So now we have the 6 of Cups, and this, it's called pleasure, but it's a Sun in Scorpio, so I have Scorpionic energy again. And this is usually like feeling warm about the past, but I feel like this is feeling good about resolution of the past, and now you can actually enjoy things. So we have 6, 9, 12. we have this step up by threes, by measure of 3, right? I'm starting to feel good about overcoming my past. I've learned a lot, and now I can harness this power and go out and start really doing my work as if I know where I'm at and what I'm doing. Let's look at May. So we have 9 of Swords here. Tourniquet by Evanescence. And then I have 3 of Wands inverted. The Sun in Aries. And this is Mars in Gemini. Interesting. So we have Mars and Gemini in Aries. And the Sun. And we're in May. Okay. So when the Sun is entering in Gemini, there is something going on with Martian Aries energy. Something exponential. 4 of Swords inverted. Here it says truce, but it's inverted. Jupiter in Libra. Usually this is I'm taking a nap to think about things. This looks kind of like a neural network. I just heard, I think it's the 11th spoonful, like I've been having a sweet dream. I've been having a daydream. Just a day for a daydreaming boy. Been locked in a sweet dream. Thinking about my bundle of joy. Interesting. I woke up out of a nightmare because I thought something was being taken away from my future. Like I thought, it's like I thought you were gonna dump me or something. But I'm not quite sure why I've got this 3 of Wands here, so I'm gonna get another card. I was having a daydream, really enjoying it, thinking about my future, and all of a sudden this nightmare popped up, and it's sort of like a trauma trigger that I thought was healed, that's sending me back into my past. So we have 23 here, integrity. Interesting. Okay, let me get another music card. So I have a Venus-like figure here. Okay, so I have 3 cards flip over. I have the Moon, Queen of the Night, the Queen of Cups inverted, Fields of Gold, so she's acting as a 13. Queen of Cups, Gemini and Cancer. So there's that Gemini energy again. Gemini and Cancer. And then I have Saturn, the Devil, chokehold. What is Gemini energy doing in May? Sun goes into Gemini in May. Why? I still don't quite get this. I think I'm going to get another one of the Thoth deck cards. Like, what if you're not there when I get home? It's freaking me out. It's like... What is it about Gemini energy that's causing this deeper trauma trigger in May for Leo? Okay. Sun in Gemini is the 10 of Swords. Okay. So what is it about the backstabbing? What is it about the overkill? Is there a Gemini in Leo? Mercury in Leo? Is there? There is not. Okay. So the Devil inverted and the Queen of Pentacles upright. So why do we want the Queen of Cups to become the Queen of Pentacles? I'm going to be worried that you're not going to be with me for a long time because I have a hard time believing that you really love me unless you are really showing it to me in the three-dimensional world. Alright, I don't know when that stopped recording, but I was talking about all this stuff happening in May, and the difference in what's going on is that there's this weird, mirror episode where the masculine energy perceives or has conscious recall of a trauma where they felt sort of stabbed to death by a feminine energy, and they're afraid that their feminine love interest is going to not be with them in the future because they've gone off to be intimate with somebody else. So that's kind of... And it sort of makes sense because there's this breakthrough in April, but then in May, I said April showers bring May flowers, but it looks like the crying is all happening here. It's like I'm in a prison of my own mind, especially because there's all these swords and 2 devil cards. Like I'm struggling to break out of this this thing where I'm sort of mind-fucking myself because I haven't overcome some kind of deeply seated shadow aspect that was buried under everything else and didn't come out until some of the other parts had healed. Okay, so we have June here. So now we have Peace, the 2 of Swords inverted. This is usually I'm not being able to see from your point of view, but what's interesting is we go from Truce, 4 of Swords inverted, to Peace, 2 of Swords inverted, and I feel like I want to get to 1 sword upright, and in order to do that I have to go to like -2 before I can go to 0 and then to 1. It's sort of like I can't see from your point of view right now. But I'm going to keep my sword locked into this flower and not attack. Like I'm holding my fire. 2 of Swords is the moon in Libra, right? So I'm trying to balance this darkness. 3 of Pentacles. So this is overboard. Or overload. My God. Let's overload. From Dirty Dancing. Alright. So we're not seeing from someone else's point of view, and we're not... What are we not doing? 3 of Pentacles is Mars and Capricorn. So there's that Mars energy coming in again. 3 3. Okay, so we're going from 4 swords invert to 2 swords invert, and I'm going from 3 wands invert to 3 pentacles invert. I don't want to move forward with this plan because I feel overwhelmed when I can't see anything else but the problem that I'm struggling with right now. So there's the 0 I was talking about, choice. I'm struggling to make it into door number 3 to break out of this darkness. I'm trying to gain enough balance to focus not in C1 door instead of 3, because I don't have my 3D goggles on. I can only see out of one eye. Interesting. So we go from -4 and -3 to -3 and -2, and now I have a -0. I just need to go to a +0 and then a +1. So let's see what's going on with July. There's the Ace of Wands. So we got an upright ace. So enter the circus and welcome. This is a little bit like the messenger in the Lenormand. It's in that way, this is almost more like, this is like having another knight, but it's like the message doesn't have to deliver itself. It's like when the student is ready, the master appears. It's like all of a sudden I feel like I'm in control of my own destiny. So we have the youth. So here's another 3 inverted. This is kind of like a page. He's like, it's sort of like if Virgo had a twin brother. It's sort of like Mercury when he was young. He's got his coyote or wolf with him. So a young masculine energy, inverted. Now the Wands is a masculine suit, so I feel like this struggle that comes up, there's a maturation in overcoming this deeply hidden 10 of Swords energy that was trauma triggered by all the progress that was happening. The ego was like, hang on a second, I didn't agree to healing. And now we have art. 14. This is temperance. So now we have balance between the emotions and the wands. So there's Leo right there, and we're rising from the ashes. Oh, sorry for yawning. I'm just tired. I'm still sick, yo. Alright, so August. Happy birthday, Leo. Okay. Back it up and do another hefty yawn. Okay, so now I have the King of Swords inverted. So this is a song Radioactive, and I like the Lindsey Sterling and Pentatonics version. So we had that King of Swords upright at the very beginning, but I can see that because of these swords going on back here with the 10 and then the 4 and the 2 inverted, we have 14 swords breaking down to 5. There's a shift in, I just heard like a decay. There's a shift because our thoughts need to be balanced now. I just said the Phoenix because Leo's rising from the ashes, and this song is kind of about the same thing. This is, I'm going to let my old ways of thinking that were out of balance settle into the dust so I can rise up out of them like a fireball. king is on here. So I have 12, the counselor. This is water. So this is the Knight of Cups again. The same guy as over here. Similar color scheme too. Like, in order to change my, in order to heal, to finish healing my thoughts that I know are struggling to balance, I'm going to keep journeying from my heart center. I'm going to counsel my head with my heart. The sun. Oh, there you go. Oh, how's that? Leo getting their own card in their own month. Happy birthday indeed. I mean, this is like getting it done here. Right? Happy days are here ahead. 19 breaking down to 10, completing the cycle. Double the king. Double the 5 here. Alright, so let's look at September. The Journey inverted. Okay, so this is kind of answering this card, and it's, oh, where's that kid? It's like a combination between these two cards. All right, this kid learning stuff. This, I'm trying to overcome my stuff. I'm trying to focus so I can find which path. Here this comes in inverted, and I think it's because the journey is like inside the earth. Like, I'm going inside my own mind. I'm going to seek out more shadow so that I can transmute it to light. If I was using the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck again, I'd get the Luminous Warrior, which I got in Cancer's reading. Alright, so we have this interior journey here, number 17. Right? Now, in a normal deck, 17 would be the star, so this is sort of, I'm going deep inside myself for healing. And then we have 3 of Swords, sorrow, right? There's 3 more swords in there that I need to contend with. I need to do the work, Saturn, to balance it out, Libra. And now I have the Knight of Wands inverted. So this is like Hanged Man energy. Christmas Eve in Sarajevo, Carol of the Bells. Right? So it's sort of like I'm suspending my work, running around, radiating my passion and my fire in order to go within and do this hermit thing and just sort of hang out. But because the Knight of Wands is inverted, it tells me the Hanged Man, which is Neptune energy, which is that all of this heartache and trauma is buried in the subconscious, which is why it took until this part of the journey to come out. So Knight of Wands is normally Scorpio and Sagittarius. Whenever Scorpio is inverted, it tells me we need to go deeper. And then we have this Sagittarian energy on here, which is telling me, what did it tell me? Well, I mean, it's temperance, but it's also the wheel, right? The sun can break down to the wheel. I'm changing the cycle, I'm completing the cycle. But again, when Leo energy hits Sagittarius energy, I'm focusing my entire fireball in one direction. And what is that direction? Into the interior. And look at all these pyrotechnics. Christmas Eve in Sarajevo, Carol of the Bells by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. We're going deep into the depths where it's really cold. So let's look at October. October. I gotta get some more water. almost ready. Okay. How much time have I got here? 5 minutes. Okay. Alright, so we're in October. Strength. Sun energy. El Condor Pasa. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail. Right? I don't want to feel small and weak. I don't want to have these traumas that I just sort of exist and then something swoops in and eats me alive. I am enhancing my fortification. So now I have the King of Cups inverted. Why is the King inverted after all that time at the Knight? Oh, okay, I'm taking all the strength I have to go against my ego. This is the ego. The ruler of the emotion, of the distorted emotions. Or saying that I've encountered my ego and my ego is so strong. My ego built itself up in order to make up for being vulnerable. 10 of Cups, satiety. It's like, okay, so this is a 14 inverted, breaks down to a 5. 8 and 5 is 13. That's the death cycle. I've gone all the way down into my depths, and I'm transforming my ego, the grandstanding ego that says I will not be vulnerable, which is where the 10 swords were. And in releasing that, we get Ten of Cups. Now, traditionally it's Mars in Pisces, but the way that I regridded this, it's now Pluto in Pisces. So we have that death cycle of the subconscious, which makes sense for this reading. Completing a cycle. Look at this, and it's the root problem too. We have all this red and sacral energy. The sacral energy is where the deep waters are of the nurturing and like I feel nurtured, I feel creative, I feel protected, and the root is sort of what binds you to the universe in some way. Like the root itself is like this strength, right? When you have strong roots, the plant can't be pulled up, and then the root issue is that the ego was grandstanding so much that it was no longer useful, but creating hidden cabinets for all of those swords to be jammed in there. Okay. Alright, so we got November here. Okay. Death inverted. In the Hall of the Mountain King. Transformation. Scorpionic energy. I've gone all the way in. 5 of Swords. Right? I'm transforming my own mental, my ego where it's mind fucking me, and I'm taking this mask off. Notice that this has a scarf over the eyes, and the skull has no eyes. 5 of Swords energy. Venus and Aquarius. Interesting. Dealing with balance and grounding in terms of how I communicate with those around me. And now the Ace of Cups. The emotional truth. I am releasing myself from this iron mask that my ego has put upon me and convinced me was who I really am. Alright, so let's look at December. This one first. Nine of Wands inverted. So here it says strength. The sun and the moon here. The moon in Sagittarius. But it came out inverted. It's like, I no longer have to wait around in the dark for some thing to come save me or propel me out of this place where I'm unable to manifest. Now I have the Page of Swords inverted. So the song in this is called Crypt of the Necrodancer, OST Zone 1 Level 2. This is from a video game where the character has to move in time with the music. So I have 11 and I have 9 here, which breaks down to 20 inverted. There's a karmic cycle that had to be moved through. Plutonic and fire energy, wherein there was so much of being stuck in this place where I was out of rhythm with myself and unable to even begin to grasp my personal truth. I'm so glad to see this as the final card in this reading. The King of Air, the King of Swords. I am the master of my own thoughts. I am in balance. Have become in tune with my heart center and thus connected my solar center to my throat chakra, and now I can speak my essence. Right? I'm no longer out of rhythm. Now, notice the 11 here, it could be 911 in emergency. 9 and 11 breaks down to 20, which is 2, which is the High Priestess, which is again that sort of dredging of the subconscious. And we see that here, that the dredging of the subconscious has released the powers of the mind for freer thought and balanced thought and command of thought. The King of Air is Capricorn and Aquarius energy. So by the time we get back down to December, when the sun hits Capricorn again, this King of Swords energy becomes more available. Aquarius is an air sign, and we started in December 2020, King of Pentacles inverted. I'm having a hard time manifesting. I'm King of Earth. But now, a year later, Leo is saying, I'm the King of the Air. So it would follow that this whole cycle spent on wands and cups and swords would clear the path for manifestation, because we have the Ace of Cups and the King of Air, and there was There were some hefty wands over here at some point, but I don't remember where they are. So wands are still on the table, but we have the Ace of Cups and the King of Air, and we had Temperance. So this is about Leo sort of instead of sending your energy everywhere else, it's like cleaning your own house, which is your body, your mind, your soul, so that you can reside in your own space and radiate from within there, like this right here. Aww. Now this card actually reminds me of the Queen of Pentacles in this deck, which let me get her out because it's important. Here she is. This looks like the Rainbow Light Body, the Queen of Pentacles, the new Mother Nature. No sugar. It's the new Mother Nature taking over. It's the same kind of energy. So even if there's no King of Pentacles, there's a Queen of Pentacles, which is fine because she is very psychic and nurturing, and her throne is overgrown with a bower of flowers. Alright, so if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up there. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Alright. The complete list of readings I have and how much they cost, including this one, is in the description box of my infomercial video, which is going to be linked below this one. You can also email me for that list. All of these links are going to be in my link tree. That's linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. I have coloring books and a poetry book over here on Amazon. And if you want to donate, help keep this channel running, you can hit that tip jar energy exchange, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I have merch and prints on Cafe Press. I have actual art items on Etsy. They're starting to move, so if you want something, now's the time to go in there. If you order 3 or more items on my Etsy and use the coupon code 3STAR17, you'll get 17% off your order. And you can also go to Etsy through the link tree, and that'll pop that up on the top of the screen. If you're interested in Xmas holiday stuff, I have my Sleipnir design, which is in merch and prints, and the 2 Sleipnir plushies that I made are on Etsy. You can get one or both of them. You can get a matching coffee cup. You can get a matching shirt or some stationery or a Christmas ornament or some stickers or magnets. And then also I have my peppermint swirl fashion design, and some of them is has like a candy stripe ring around it. So that's also on Cafe Press and DeviantArt. So all of these links are in the link tree. You can hang out with me on social media. So check out my, I said it out of order. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye. I knocked over the camera.